What's up guys, my name's Alka, and in today's video, I'm going to be teaching you how to play Iana in Year 7 of Rainbow Six Siege. We're going to go over things like her loadout, general tips when I bring you into a custom game, and at the very end of the video, I'm going to give you an in-game example of how I would personally play Iana in a ranked match, so that you better know what you're doing when you go into a ranked match for yourself. With all out the way, let's get in the video. Alright, so the first thing we're going to go over is her loadout. So she has probably one of the best loadouts in the entire game, and that is why she is played so much. So she has the option between the G36C, one of Ash's weapons, and she has the ARX, one of Nomad's weapons. Now these are both amazing guns. The ARX is probably the second best attacker AR, no, third best attacker AR after, of course, Twitch and Ace. But 47 damage, 700 fire rate with 20 bullets and a 1.5. Absolutely zero recoil as well. So overall, very, very well-rounded weapon. And if you know how to play with a low ammo AR, it's actually very forgiving. And then you have the G36C, which has 38 damage, right? Not a lot of damage, but 780 fire rate with 30 bullets and absolutely zero recoil as well. So I love the G36C, not as much as the ARX, especially because, you know, I have the Dark Zero skin. But overall, very, very good primaries. Either way, it's going to be viable no matter which one you run. So honestly, personal preference there. Go into the practice range, see the recoil, feel out the gun, see which one you like. And then she has the Mark 9mm, which is, I think, Buck's pistol as well. And then the Gon 6. So if you're running the G36C, you're always going to want to run the Gon 6 because 3 rounds in the G36C, like a ridiculous amount of ammo, so you don't really need to be running a pistol as a secondary. Now if you have the ARX with only 20 bullets and you're not as good at the game, then the pistol is almost a must. But if you know how to play around a low ammo weapon like the Roni, great example, then the Gon 6 can be forgiving if you're a good player. Plus it's a Gon 6 on somebody with 2 frag grenades, so that's a lot of utility break that you're bringing to the table. And then smokes for executes, but you're playing a fragger, so always run the nades. You can get below nades as well, but you break a lot of utility. You have a lot of play for kill potential and a Gon 6 and a great weapon. Overall, a very, very good loadout. And then she has the Iana clone, the Gemini replicator, which I'm going to bring you into a custom game and show you all the inner workings of that gadget and give you some advanced tips there. Okay, so I brought you into a custom game and I'm going to show you essentially what Iana's clone does. So you throw her out, and it's essentially just a standing drone of yourself. You can run with this, you can crouch with it, you can do a lot of things, but you can't shoot with it. Right? You can't pull your trigger. It's only meant for droning things, and it can be disrupted by vigil scanners, mute jammers, and then it can also be shot. So it's essentially just having a drone, and as you can see, it recharges, so it's just infinite droning. And on somebody with her kit, which is what I discussed earlier, that's extremely powerful. You can completely roam clear yourself in and have the utility to back up any of your gun skill if you're trying to roam clear as well. So you're kind of your own little solo push at times, and it's very, very helpful, especially with the Gon 6. You're able to get any shields that a roamer could be behind. Very, very useful. But also, another thing with Iana's clone is when it's disabled, there's a cooldown, like it just showed in the bottom right there. But if somebody shoots it or it gets jammed and it's destroyed, then the cooldown is actually 25% longer. A lot of people don't know that, but make sure that if your clone, you know it's about to get destroyed, just actually deactivate it. You'll get less of a cooldown on it. And then one thing that's also very cool with Iana's replicator is you can send her Gemini clone through Aruni gates and it break the Aruni gate, and because you have an infinite amount of them and 2 drones as well, it's just a very good counter to Aruni. If there's a map like Oregon where there's almost a guaranteed Aruni every single site, bringing Iana is just always going to be a safe bet. So now I've gone into just the basics of what her clone is and what it does. I'm going to give you some, you know, intermediate skill tips on what you can do with her. So like I said, she's very good for solo push potential, right? So what you can do as Iana is, let's say your entire team is pushing CC side, right? You have people getting the wall, you have people going like rafters, you have a Capitao on the wall, maybe here you have a guy in the door, and then you have somebody trying to get like construction side, right? A really good thing that you can do as Iana, not even just on this map, but in any map in general, is immediately go somewhere for below nades. So like I said, with her clone, it's very good for solo push potential. So you could clone in, you could see like what's going on. If there's a shield maybe in lounge, which is kind of common in the higher elo, you have a Gon 6 and 2 nades, but you have a very, very good gun selection as well that can help you roam clear. So what you can do is, as Iana, is immediately go for below nades. You have the kit to do it, like I just said, and then you just go to like very common defender spots, or you have a drone in sight where you know a shield is, or you get a ping on somebody, and you go for below nades. That was fucking dog shit. Don't do that. But you get the point. You can get below nades pretty easily in this game. And there is a timing to it that you can learn on your own as well. Just go into a custom game for like maybe 5 minutes, and you won't do that. Alright, so we're back in another custom game, and I'm going to show you what the mid-game looks like. I showed you what the early game looks like. You solo roam clear, you get in the building, you maybe do some balloon nades, you make solo plays with the loadout that you're given. And then I'm going to give you into the mid-game. So the mid-game is, I'd like to say, a minute 30 into the round, maybe a minute if you've been doing your job efficiently. And what it looks like, essentially, is once you've taken the part of the map that you want to take, with your clones, with your balloon nades, whatever, then you start helping your teammates out. And you do this by getting any shields that are stopping you from getting to site. So let's say on this site specifically, they get the breach open right here. We get garage wall open right here. Someone's on this door. Like, perfect scenario, no one's died, we've gotten our utility done. Now, I have one of two options. I can either get with the person on breach that has flash grenades, a thermite, and there could be a shield like top red, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna burn for the shield top red, I want you to nade and then push up off of this nade. That's a great example of like going with your team to mid round. Another example is if you don't have a Capitao or your teammates don't have any grenades, like you don't have a Maverick here that can get the Raptors player out, you can come in here and then have a person like Buck or anybody with flash grenades like a Hibana to flash any of my discs that are on this air duct right here or any Jaeger ADSs, and then you could come in and nade from here. So either way, what you want to be doing with Iana in the mid round after you've done your solo push is you see what you can be doing to utilize your Gon 6 and your 2 grenades to help your team. Maybe it's using your clone to burn Aruni gates, right? Especially on this map, very, very common. But just be thinking about how you can help your teammates. You are still a fragger. You're still a solo person. You're not heavily reliant on your utility. If you do die, it's not the end of the world. So you have some freedom as to what you can pick. But just make sure that you're telling your teammates what you're going to do. You're coordinating pushes, and that is a great example of how you play Iana in the mid round. And then there comes late round. Now, late round as a fragger, it's just coordinated rushes for you, right? So in a perfect world, you have space taken, you have rafters, you have wall, you have maybe you or another fragger sitting at bottom red, and then your teammate, your second hard breach preferably, is getting con wall, right? That's the perfect push on attack for this objective. Now you can either be that guy on red stairs, or you could be your first entry, which is just the person that's probably going to run into the breach or run in from rafters and try to take the gunfight into cache. Now, taking this gunfight into cache does one of two things. It allows your teammates to come in and plant and take the initial plant if there's nobody downstairs trying to nitro you, or you can go up red stairs and do the exact same thing. Or if you already have somebody like a Finka doing that, where they're first entering and you're being a second entry, you can be that player on red stairs that's lobbing grenades late round, or that's just holding a rotate, right? But as Iana, you want to be making that open space. You want to be initiating the fight so that your people can come in and use your utility and get the plant down. That's what you do as an entry player, is you initiate fights. If you've ever played Valorant, they have the initiator role. Those people have blinds and they initiate gunfights. They help their duelists get into sight. It's the exact same concept, right? I know there's a lot of Valorant Andes that watch my channel, but it's the same thing. You just initiate fights, or you make it a lot harder for defenders to initiate fights by holding the rotate or by grenading where they're going to be, right? Stuff like that. So that's just a general, like, round by round how you need to be thinking about playing Iana. I've gone over how to counter her. I've gone over things that you can do with her, basic tips and stuff like that. And now I'm going to bring you into an in-game example of how I would personally play Iana in ranked, so that you can get a better feel of how you should play Iana going into your next rank game. Alright, so I brought you into an in-game example of me playing Iana in a ranked match that I think I did particularly well in. And I'm just going to break you through my step-by-step thought process on what I did and why I did it, so that you better know what you're doing going into ranked games.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
So first things first, droning. Because I'm Iana, I'm going to be solo pushing, especially because it's ranked.
By attackers.
So right now I'm just getting my game plan in my head right now. Like, am I going to push bakery? Am I going to push small bakery? I see their basement, so I'm thinking about a bakery push. And then I'm hearing a bunch of zombie barriers and Thunderbird guns going off, so I'm like, alright, fuck that, we're not doing that. I'm not even gonna go small bakery.
10 seconds to go.
I'm gonna go restaurant.
5 seconds left before insertion.
So I put my drone in restaurant. I don't see there's already a drone there,
Attackers
but
are heading out
I put one there anyways. Again, solo pushing, right? You don't necessarily need to play with the team here. Especially in ranked, you can do your own thing because you have infinite drones. You can drone yourself in. I'm re-droning myself. That's another thing to keep in mind, re-droning. I see restaurants clear, VIPs clear, bottom white's clear, bottom brown's clear, whiskey's clear. So I hop in. right? Already, immediately, I'm in a super, super good power position. I have all of whiskey control with 29 seconds into the round, right? Extremely powerful. Usually you have a rotate on this wall and somebody playing behind this bar to contest anybody here, or a coat check player to contest anybody here, right? Because once you get control of this part right here, they effectively cannot leave the site now. They're stuck on site, and any roamers are now unable to get back into site. So extremely powerful power position, already 30 seconds into the round just by solo pushing and droning myself in. I hear someone right there, so I throw a nade. It gets ADS, so I try again. I honestly should have just left it, but I try again. Destroying is on me, whatever. That was just a dumb play on a zombie's part. She shouldn't have shot that wall like that and then just kept spraying, allowing me to wallbang her. But as you see, I'm on the double door. Very good power position there. And I'm just waiting for my teammates to open up freezer wall for them to clear space and do their job. And I'm just holding a cutoff for them, right? I'm holding off that double door so they can't go back into kitchen, or sorry, into freezer, excuse me, and contest them. I'm holding everybody that's in the kitchen side off. And then I'm also playing around these feet holes right here and getting kills, doing damage, and applying pressure that way. There's a Thunderbird that I'm going to destroy here, and then my teammates are going to get a bunch of kills, and you'll see what happens next. So they open breach. Our sledge goes all the way around into bakery and gets 2 free kills because everyone's heads are turned towards that breach, right? There's no prox alarms, no barbed wire where that sledge was. And overall, like, he just got a very, very free entry kill. And as Iana, that's something that I should be doing as well, instead of our sledge doing it. He should be inverting. I should have been the one to see that bakery was weak and go into it. But I was doing my own thing, right? He saw an opening, he took it, and that's essentially what an entry player does, right? So me and Sledge were on the same wavelength, we're doing the same job effectively. So if you want a good example of how to play entry, I'm a good example, but so is that Sledge, right? He droned in, he knew nobody was looking at him, he found a weak point, and he took it without hesitation, right? While I'm holding a rotate as well, and our teammates were also able to go in and get some free picks, and we won the round because of it.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
I kill the last guy. I didn't see his foot sticking out. I was too busy about the Iana clone, and then my teammate over here shoots me. So I'm confused, like, where's the guy? Where's the guy? And then he dies, and I still didn't see him somehow, and I'm like looking around like, where the fuck is this guy? And then he stands up and I kill him. But you know, good example. I held an angle, we got entry picks, right? I took a very good power position within the first 30 seconds of the round. I found an opening, I pushed by myself, and at the very end, or the mid round, I guess, because of the time, I met up with my team. That's something I talked about in the custom game, meeting up with your team in the mid to late round for executes. That's what I did. I did my job extremely well. My teammates did their job extremely well, and that is a great example of how to play Iana. So if you want to get more educated on the game of Rainbow Six Siege, sub to my channel below. I post every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I'm only going to start posting more and more until I eventually post daily. Don't forget to like the video. My name's Alka, and I will see you in the next one.